So welcome to our November 2024 Basic Sampler here at Close to Home in Southington. You need to bring in your completed October block beginning Saturday, November 16th at 10 o'clock through November 30th to get this November kit free. We are also pre-registration, taking registrations for the 2025 samplers. That has begun. The $25 registration fee includes your January kit. We also have a great event coming up, the Brother Avenir event. All stores are featuring this event. Southington's will be held on Friday, December 6th from 10 to noon. The event is free. Just call or stop in to register. We have quite a few gently pre-owned, tuned up machines and class machines. If you are interested in getting a really good deal, just come on in, talk to one of us. And plenty of Finish the Bolts, of course at half price, and a little sneak peek to our Black Friday special sale right now going on are our Aero chairs for just $288. So if you're looking for a new sewing chair, plenty to choose from, lots of different prints. So those are the announcements. Come on over. We're going to do a little applique today in our video. What we do first is we create a background block, which is our 12.5 inch block, and then what we're going to do is applique our shapes to the background pieces, and I'll show you how to applique that in a second. The kits, pretty simple, the white and the white seed. You need 2 6-inch squares of each. Those will be our corners. The sable fabric is just a 1.5 inch square taken out of the corner of your kit, and the remainder just leave for your applique. Same as the feathers, just leave for the applique. And of course the dark seed is our north, south, east, west. We need 4 1.5 by 6 inch pieces for that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the applique. Things you're going to need for applique include your template. This is the shape that we're going to be using. You're going to need an open toe foot, and I have that actually on the machine because I want to show you the applique stitch. You're going to need a little 505. Your tearaway stabilizer is here. A non-stick pressing cloth so you don't get any of the fusible on your iron or the ironing board. A marking tool, not a friction pen because we will be ironing it, so any kind of pencil, pen is fine. A good pair of scissors to cut through the shapes. You'll need a little pin to score, and about a 1/4 yard of light steam-a-seam 2. So it seems like a lot, but once you've done the applique, you have these items, and the rest is going to be a lot of fun. All right. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating a 9 patch. Everything gets pressed, let me flip this around, toward the dark seed. So everything gets pressed toward the inside on this block, and your block should now measure 12.5 inches. So basically it's 3 across, these 3 across, and then the bottom 3, and then we're just going to put our rows together. All right, so once you have your background pressed and sewn together, it's time to get your applique shapes ready. Okay, so I just chose the melon shape because for a basic, for a beginner, it's a nice gentle curve, not with a lot of sharp points or anything like that, or inside edges. All right, so we're just going to put that aside for now, and we're going to trace our shapes onto our light Steam-A-Seam 2. So you'll notice there are two sides to the Steam-A-Seam 2. One is just a plain white paper, and the other side actually has these little yellow grid marks. So what I've done is I've traced my patterns onto the yellow grid marks. I have one more to do, and I'll show you how to do that. Sometimes a light box helps. If you don't have a light box, you could just put it onto the window. And actually this mark for your template is pretty dark, so you can actually see it through the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it so that I can trace it, and I want to be able to have about a ½ an inch between each one. I'll go ahead and take my pen, and I'm just going to hold it nice and still and trace my template. Alright, and if you go out of the lines, just go back and fix it. It's not a big deal. Okay. So you're going to trace 4 templates. And then we're going to take our paper scissors. This is a really nice pair of Olfa multi-purpose scissors. They have a little serrated edge, so it's very simple to, easy to cut on the paper. So the next thing we want to do is to trim each of our shapes about 1/8 of an inch from that line we just drew. Okay, so each of these gets cut out. We don't want all this fusible, we just want our shape, but it has to be a little bit on the outside of the line. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so you'll do that to all 4 shapes. Okay, and then the next thing that we need to do is now take our shapes that we've cut out, and we're going to peel away the paper from the fusible and the grid. So sometimes you have to pick at it a little bit, and if you pull it apart and you feel that the sticky is on this side, you want to make sure that you get the fusible. See, there's 3 layers in here. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but give me a sec here. Okay, so we have 3 layers. We have our grid, and then of course we have our fusible in between the paper. Oh my goodness, hold on a sec. Okay, there's our fusible, and then our paper. We want to make sure the fusible stays with the paper that we drew the line on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this fusible over to this side, and I'm going to peel away this paper. We're going to take our fabric, and on the wrong side of our fabric, we're going to lay the fusible so that our print side is up. I'm a little stuck to it. All right, so we're just going to put that on, and we're going to grab another one, and we're going to stick that on. There should be plenty of room for both of them. Just make sure that you can get both of them on here. And you'll notice that my sable, I took out my little 1½ inch from the corner of my fabric, and then the remainder gets 2 melons also on that fabric. All right, once you have your 2 shapes down, it's time to fuse. So make sure you grab your nonstick pressing sheet. And these come in a variety of types, but this one happens to be the June Taylor. And we can put our shape right on here. Actually, I'm just going to fuse right through it, just like that. And just count, you know, you can put your steam on, you can put, you know, just a lot of heat, but I just kind of hold it for about a 5-second interval, and you can pull this off. And what you have is this shape now fused to the wrong side of your fabric. Okay, so do that to all 4 pieces, get them fused, and now we're going to come back with our scissors, and this is where we're going to cut right on the line that we drew. So whether it's a heart or a sunbonnet Sue or any of the shapes that get appliqued, we want to make sure that this line doesn't heat away. And it's not going to stay on here. The paper's not going to stay on, so it's okay if you use a marker or a pen or a pencil, just not a friction pen. That would be bad. All right. So now that we have our shapes, we're going to create 4 of these shapes. Okay, which I've already cut out here. And now we're ready, once we have our 4 pieces, we're ready to put them on our background. So where do they go? I mean, we can put them here, we can put them here, we can put them anywhere we want. But what I suggest is that we lightly press a 45-degree marking so that we have a mark at the top and bottom without actually putting any kind of friction pen or anything on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to need this in a second. I'm just going to bring this over to the iron and give this a little bit of a press. So I'm just matching up right out to the corner, give a little bit of a marking here and here. And I'm going to do that to all the corners. Get that right out to the corner. And here, it's not necessary in the middle, just at the points. I mean, you could take a ruler if you wanted, that's absolutely okay. You can use a friction pen at this point, and you can just draw a 45-degree line from our centers out to the corners. But this is going to get a lot of pressing, so I'm just going to put a light press to it. Okay. All right. So the next thing, now that we have our things marked, we have to remove this paper from the back of each of our applique shapes. And to do that, I find the easiest way is to just take a head of a pin and just give it a scoring. So what I do is I just take it and give it a little bit of just a scratch down there. And what that does is it kind of opens up the paper and makes it very, very easy just to pull our paper off. Now, I have the fusible on the back of my applique sheet. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put my sable with the dot and I'm going to measure up about 1/2 inch from the center, and I'm going to put that point on the line that I pressed and the point on the line and just give it a little. Now, if I don't like it there, I can just pick it up and I can move it again anywhere I want. So let's do another one. I'm going to score this one. Peel. So about 1/2 inch in. Don't forget, we have a 1/4 inch seam allowance going on up here, so it's okay if this side looks a little bit larger than the inside. Let's do this one. The nice thing about light steam seam 2 is it is repositionable. I could stack several shapes on top of each other, checking that this is in the point here where I pressed and that this one comes out that point. And again, you can go in that direction too and have them going around in a circle instead of coming to the center. It's totally up to you. All right. Just going to put this in the corner and bring this right out to the point. All right. Once you are happy with it, now is the time to change whatever it is you want to change, because we're going to take our block in our applique sheet, because we don't want anything to move and we certainly don't want any glue on anything, and we're just going to go hold it for a count of, again, maybe 5 or 6. Just try not to rock it back and forth, because we don't want to reposition it. We just want it to stick. Okay. And last but not least, the heat goes right through this pressing sheet, and if you had any glue left around this edge, it would just come on the Teflon sheet, and it's very simple just to, when it cools, it's very simple just to take that glue off. All right, so now our shapes are on. Last step is the actual appliquing stitch. Okay? All right. So I've done a couple little samples with applique stitches. The machine I have does several stitch. We have the satin stitch. We have looks like a train track type of stitch. It comes on the applique shape and it comes off the applique shape. We have where most people use for an applique stitch is called this ladder stitch. And then I use a blind hem stitch, and the line goes along the edge of the applique and then comes into the applique. Just like that. So any of these, if you have something else you want to use, that's fine too. My applique stitch, or the ladder stitch, is a length of 2.6 and the width of 2.3. But please feel free to change your length, change your width to something that you like. All right, so let's do one and we'll be all set. So you're going to take your your Tear Easy. I'm just going to give it a little bit of 505. This helps stabilize your decorative stitches. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of 505. I'm just going to place my 12.5-inch square on here. And this tears away later, but for now, we're just going to use it to stabilize. And I would use a red thread, but I have my brown. This one blends. It's a Mettler Metricine 100% polyester thread. You can use a cotton thread. You can use a variegated color, whatever it is you like. This one happens to be color 538. All right, so when I get into my, this is the Bernina 475, I'll go into sewing, and then down this side I have all my quilting stitches in this menu here. And the first one that I like is number 1309. So again, that comes out to 2.3 wide. Those are the fingers that go into the applique shape, and 2.6 length. That's going to ride along the edge. All right, so it's important to secure your stitches at the beginning and the end, and you want to make sure your needle drops right on the edge between the background and the applique shape. All right, so I'll put my knot on, or my fix, and just take a couple stitches right on the edge, and then it's going to go to the left and then back to the right, and then it's going to come forward. Okay, next stitch, now I'm at the beginning, it's going to go left, right, and then forward. Every time it comes forward, I'm looking that that needle drops right between, right on the line between the applique and the background. So we can keep on going. And it's important, just keep turning your fabric and knowing when it's going to go left and right and forward, so that when we get to the point, we'll be able to pivot. All right, so let me cruise around this corner. It's hard to see, but I'm right on that line between the two fabrics. So here, forward, left. Every time that needle drops, it's right on the line, right on the edge. So sometimes it helps to get a thread that really blends, especially if you're kind of new at doing applique stitching. All right, I'm approaching the corner, so I'll go a little bit slower. As I come to the corner, forward, left, right, forward, left, right, forward, left, right, forward. So I know my next one is left, so I'll pivot, and this one will go left along the edge, and then right, and then back to the edge, and then left, right, forward, left. So it's easy to go beyond it, but just knowing or practicing on a little extra piece of paper or fabric is really going to help. All right, so we're going to go all the way around. We're going to do the next one. Sorry, I'm not fast forwarding, I'm just stitching very fast. So notice how I keep my hand and I'm just pivoting I'm not lifting my presser foot with the needle down, but if I had sharper corners, that would definitely make it easier to go and pivot around corners. But this is a very gradual curve, so I'm able just to kind of swing the fabric as I'm stitching. All right, here we come to the point again. Forward, left, right, forward, left, right, forward. I'm right in the corner, so I don't want to go any farther. I'm just going to turn. I know the next one's left, so it's going to go into that line and then back. And here's where I started. So I'm going to go, this ends my pattern, and it's going to take a couple locking stitches. Right there. So as long as you start and stop with your locking stitch, you'll be great. Okay. We're going to do this for all 4 pieces. The free kit is only available to those that have your blocks fully appliqued. And then the very last thing you want to do, it doesn't matter if you do this before or after you pick up, it's you want to go ahead and trim away or rip away your Tear Easy. So this is the one I've done. You can see the applique stitches through here. I like to just get it kind of started down to the applique piece, and I just kind of hold my stitches as I tear away. Okay? The next thing you want to do is try to get in as much as the tear away off as possible. And you're also going to get inside here too. And sometimes I take a little seam ripper just to get that started. Sometimes I could just scratch a little hole. And again, tear away all the tear away stabilizer. So here we are with our first applique this year. Don't forget to sign up or register for 2025. I think you're going to enjoy the colors and the skill set that we're going to learn next year. So come on in, and again, thank you for watching.